Rick, let's do one more.
Okay.
Okay, great. The title of this one is going to be Each of Your Experiences Has Value.
Whoa, boy, that's a that's a biggie. Well, here's a couple of thoughts. Take them for what they're worth. But what first occurs to me is that uh, value is really a choice. Value is about something that you decide is important. You decide is fun. You decide has positive value in some way to you. And I think we avoid sometimes doing things that could be rich experiences because we're afraid of making a mistake. And in my old age, I realized way too late in life that nobody is putting a magnifying glass to my mistakes, right? It's like I do that. Most other people don't notice. I give an example. I thought I made a horrible argument a couple of weeks back in court, and it just so happened that it was videotaped, and I wanted, against my better judgment, to look at the videotape and to see how poorly I did. And I was hoping I could correct a few things. I thought maybe I used my hands too much, or I talked too fast, or I didn't make sense half the time, which is normal for me. And I looked at the video and I thought, well, damn, that isn't too bad. And as I got to think about it a little bit more, I thought, this applies to almost every area of our lives. We're always thinking that we have this narrow alleyway in which to operate, and anything outside of the alleyway is going to be death. It's going to be embarrassing, frustrating. We're going to be ridiculed, criticized, lose our job, lose our love, be uh, sent to hell on earth. But the reality is that stuff is just a thought, and that stuff is a narrative that we have to control. What do you think?
No, I'm right there with you, Rick. I think we have to control that narrative. We'll start with being aware of the narrative. And I think once you're aware of it, you become what you also become aware of is that there's a choice to not identify with the narrative. And then when you choose not to identify with the narrative, then you can choose a different approach to whatever the situation is. And I think that's been incredibly helpful to me. And I think reflection is a very, very good thing. And reflection is different than rumination. Rumination, I think, brings suffering. Reflection can bring insights, and that's been key for me. There's a quote out of the Mayo Clinic Guide to Stress-Free Living book by Amit Sue that talks about kind of experiences and the way and the role that gratitude plays in those. And I think with gratitude is where you can find the value. And the quote is, success gives you pleasure, while failure helps you learn and grow. Gratitude finds meaning in both. And I think that's the power of gratitude. And so when you make life not about win or lose, but win and learn, um, no matter what happens, it's going to be a rich experience and one in which you can find value in. And I keep thinking about that all the time. When I play pickleball, I have one of my coaches has seen us be really good, Matt and myself be really good with drills. But he's like, the drills are great, but you kind of know what's coming. You need to be in a game with other people that you don't play with normally so that you don't know what's coming. And he says, you know what's going to bring me a lot of joy seeing you and Matt take a beating. And so he wants us to take a beating on the court because he knows that we'll learn from it and eventually that will help our game. And the little Keith doesn't want to take a beating, but for me to have a richer experience and to grow and to learn, a beating is part of it, and hopefully it won't be too many beatings, but if it is, so be it. So be it. Because in the failures help you grow. And I'm gonna read this quote one more time. Success gives you pleasure, while failure helps you learn and grow. Gratitude finds meaning in both. And that gratitude is where I get the value in what I'm doing. And it's all valuable, right? You want to close this out with a thought?
That's a marvelous quote, Keith. Marvelous quote. Gratitude finds meaning in both success and failure because of the growth possibilities. The idea that you're just grateful for whatever happens to you, that's a hard concept. Boy, but that's advanced. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I love you.
I love you, man. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.